And we're live on Smarter San Diego. Derrick Evans here. Jay Lee in the house. What's up, Jay?
Up?
What's
Hey,
up?
don't forget your PPE.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I had a couple ideas for good masks, designs, but I haven't gone there yet. We've promised real estate stats. We have been talking about this. In March, we jumped on this. Said, hey, listen, we're gonna have to look at these numbers. We're gonna have to show people what's going on. We want to add value to the general community. I know a lot of people in the real estate community are watching this to keep track of what's going on. This is some of the best data you're going to get. It's real data. We showed you what was happening in March. We showed you what happened in April. Now we're going to show you what happened in May. There's no real way for anyone now to say, well, the COVID numbers aren't in there yet. It's all in here. So, and I'm going to let Jay go through all this stuff. I'm going to share my screen. We'll give you our perspective of what's going on, what we're seeing, on the ground floor, crazy stuff going on. Just a crazy market. One of the hottest markets I've seen personally on the ground level. But how do the stats add up? Is there something sneaking up on us here?
There is.
There is. Is some sneaking up? Are certain price points, telling us something? Is there a story here? Is there something that we can take away from this? We'll give you the data. We'll give you our opinion, and then you can kind of figure out what you think from there. So let's pop this off. Jay, you ready?
Boom.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get this bad boy going. We're going to get a slideshow happening here. As soon as I figure out how to do it, slideshow. And uh-oh, what happened?
What are you looking at?
I was trying so hard not to show that slide.
All right, go ahead and jump to number 5.
Let's go. There it is.
All right. All right. So we have May. Take a look at the numbers. Okay. So if you look at red's what's listed in May of 2020, yellow is 19, blue is 18. So as you can see, we are still really low in inventory compared to what we have been. For total listed in 2020, we're at 16,887, and in 18 we're at 2079, right? A 4,000 gap. And then if you look at last year, 21,000, that's a 5,000 gap, just about 4,500. All right, so we're still really, really low on our inventory as far as what we have for what's on market compared to the last couple of years. All right, let's go ahead and hit the next one. Now I want to get to a specific guide to show you guys something that's really going to shed some light on what's happening with the pandemic and real estate as it comes in. So this is a graph showing, the different range. So if you look at between 500 and 600,000, this year was listed 29.93. Last year was 38.82. So that's a 900 listing difference in just one price point of 1 month, which is huge. That 100 listings missing from the county in just $100,000. Okay. 400 to 500, we're at 2231 this year. Last year, 3377. Huge difference, right? And so if you add these up, we're missing, what is it? 5,500 listings in just the month of May that we normally would have had. All right.
That's what you're saying there is there's 4,500 plus or minus a few homes that would have been on the market last year at this time that are not on the market this year.
Correct.
4,500 households.
Yeah, that aren't right now. They should be.
They're just not there.
Yep. 100%. Let's go ahead and hit that next one. All right. Now this is trend sold by price. All right. So now if you look at the absorption rate, all right. So looking at total sold 2020, we're at 1.97% of what was listed. Now, if you 19, we were at 57%. So we're back at the 18 standards of over 61% of whatever is sold, listed that month gets sold. 61%. So if you plan on selling your house and you put it on the market, you have over a 50% chance of getting that thing sold in the first 30 days.
Which is absolutely insane and pretty much doesn't exist in most markets around the country. Like,
right.
90 days is like a fast turnaround in most markets that are you would consider to be healthy markets. So we're in that like insane category where I know as a listing agent, you could probably tell me like, hey, if you don't have an offer within a couple of weeks, you're probably like, what's going on? Yep. That's how hot the market is. It's like, if we don't find that buyer to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this property within just a week or 10 days, we're going to start getting worried. That's how accustomed we are to the market being hot. And right now you can see the way the numbers are showing with the lack of inventory that we're seeing. It's at that level and then some.
Yeah. And now if you look at this, all right. So last year, May, we listed 4,760 homes, right? This year we listed 3,689. 1,700 of those homes sold. What does that tell you? Out of the last year was 3,143. So we are over 50% of whatever being listed is still getting sold. Just about 50%. Last year was a little bit higher, but again, we are going through a pandemic, and then with all the business happening in the United States right now, it's no shocker that everything kind of hit a standstill. But go to the next slide. So 10-year pending comparison, right? So if we're looking at single families on the top and attached at the bottom, so that's condos at the bottom. So if you look at April 2020, we're at 1,280. Last year we were at 2,202, right? That is almost 1,000 homes difference that we have pendings in the month of April. Is that crazy?
So like, what basically this seems like it's because we're always looking year over year, right? We're trying to, because we look at 2019 as a good year, but sort of a normal year as far as how everything charted out. We're looking year over year, and we're just seeing a massive difference in the amount of homes that are available.
Right. Now go to the next one and let's show May.
Okay.
Now look at May. You're seeing an increase, a much larger increase, right? We're at 1,600, and 99, I think it is, and then 987 on the attached. So from April to May, we're seeing a jump up in how many transactions are pending, which means the market is starting to pick back up again. People are starting to get out of their houses. They're feeling more comfortable letting people into their homes. That's going to be a telltale sign in one of the graphs coming up, and I'll be able to show you that here shortly. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, list compared to sold price. So at 1.5 million, we have 35% absorption, right? So listed compared to sold, right? But so the big target that me and you really work is anywhere between 300,000 to about 700,000, right? With majority of our buyers being VA, some condos, some single families. So if we start at the bottom of our range, which we normally see is 300 to 400, we have 70.03% of absorption, meaning that the market is absorbing inventory, like it's being bought up. So if you're at 300 to 400,000, you have a 70% of that being gone that month, right? 400 to 500, 63%. 500 to 600, 67% absorption, right? 600 to 700, 63%, right? That's insane. That's over 50% across the board in the price range that most VA buyers are buying at, and first-time home buyers, regardless of their VA, that's the price bracket that they're in, and it's going to sell. So if you're thinking about selling your home, this tells you right now it's still a great time to list your strong sellers market.
Yeah, crazy. You got anything? I know you've had some listings. You had one in North Park recently that went bonkers, went for tens of thousands above list. Anything hot coming up here in the near future we should know about, or we can leak out maybe a little bit?
Yeah, we have one actually going live today. It may or may not have syndicated already with the MLS or whatnot, but it's been inputted. It's Poway. It's a 3-2. It's gorgeous. It's been updated. It's been painted. Everything is beautiful on it. And we're listing that thing at 650.
No way.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
3-2 updated in Poway?
yeah, in Poway.
Oh, bro. That's bonkers. That's gonna be you. I mean, your phone is gonna get destroyed this weekend. It's gonna get melted.
Yeah. I might let my display, I don't know, Clash of Clans something. I don't know. That way I don't have to answer it.
Your phone is gonna get melted on that one, dude. There's no way. Like, just, I mean, it's Poway unified, right? It's in Poway.
Yeah.
So, detached under 700, first of all, is really hard to find, much less updated. Yeah, you have to give me info on that one. We're gonna have to circulate that once it's live, because
Yeah,
I'll get
you a video link.
Yeah, cool. Please do. We'll drop that, because there's so many people looking for that. In fact, I mean, off the top of my head, I've got somebody who would probably be really interested in that. And it's funny because I didn't think of him initially, but I know he was looking to Power, and he waited a few months, and now that very well may be the perfect property for him. So I guess in my point, the big takeaway from that one is, look, people are talking about affordability and things getting out of control, and it's true. And one of the things that we aren't going to see in these stats, but is a very real thing, is the migration to Temecula, Marietta. What's happening there, because prices in real estate is doing so well here in San Diego. You're seeing a lot more people look in Marietta, look in Temecula, look in Winchester, look in Hemet. And what's the one lake?
Lake Elsinore.
Not Elsinore. It's the other one. What's Canyon Lake. So a bunch of people looking up there, Canyon Lake, Lake Elsinore. People are looking all those places because, prices here are so strong. And if you waited 3 years going, I'm going to wait for prices to go down, guess what? The only ones that look the same as the ones here in San Diego did 3 years ago are in Canyon Lake. So a lot of people are looking up there. We're not going to see those stats here. The amount of people, the amount of buyers, and the activity that has been shifted up there as a result of the market being so strong here, that's just spillover stuff that we're not even going to be able to see in these stats. And that's happening right now in a major, major way. So I know people are going up there and trying to buy houses, that are 500, 550, whatever. They're gorgeous. They have a pool or whatever. But it's a big difference. The lifestyle is definitely different. If you can telecommute, it's cool. Listen, hey, a lot more people are working from home. Cool. Go enjoy your big house in Temecula, Marietta. It's all good. But we're not going to be able to see that on these stats, even though it is a function of how strong this market is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have buyers right now in Temecula, Marietta. Some of my team's doing showings tomorrow up there. So, it's going down.
Ditto. All right, let's check this next one here. Listed.
All right. Now this is sold through May. The last one I believe was April. Right. So look at again, 3 to 400, 64.73%, 4 to 500, 65, 5 to 600, 57, 600 to 755. Right. So everything is above 50%, which, I mean, it's just absorbing inventory so fast. Like, if your house goes on the market, it's going to get sold. And it's so hard, working with buyers to be competitive in a market that's just escalating and escalating and escalating.
Yeah. What happens is you get those buyers who are in contract on their sale, or just really motivated. Landlord's kicking them out, done with whatever, selling the house. And they get that motivated buyer who just tries to get to the front of the line no matter what. And then you have sort of the casual buyer who's month to month on their rental, and they're not ready to play the game yet, but they want to make an offer, Jay. So, it's listed at 580. Well, let's offer 565. We may as well not even write it, because it's just not happening.
Don't waste your time.
It's a waste of time. You're wasting your time and getting your hopes up. It's not going to happen. So that's what's going on, because the motivated buyer is taking advantage and jumping in. Dude, I'm looking at some of the people who bought houses just 6 months ago, and looking at how much equity they have because of the action that we're seeing here.
It's crazy, man.
absolutely amazing. Like this
Like,
is what I mean when you get to a point where it's like, okay, well, where do we invest money? I posted this on Facebook the other day. Like, well, you gonna put it into a money market where you get like 0.01% or give it to the bank for nothing?
yeah,
What are you gonna do? You gonna buy stocks? Okay, that could work out well, could not. But really, I think there's only two things on the menu. It's real estate and stocks.
yeah,
What do you want? A piece of paper, or you want something you can live in? I mean, it's such a no-brainer, and people get it. They do. Like the rubber has met the road. We got backed into a corner. We shut down the economy, and look what people did. People went out and they pulled the trigger on buying homes. Why? Because it makes sense. It makes sense, and that's what we're seeing right here in these numbers.
All right, this next slide is the one I wanted to show you. This is the important one. All right. So if y'all look at this, the yellow is the detached, blue is attached. So yellow is single family homes and blue is townhouses, condos. You see how starting in March, we had a huge drop in listings coming to the market. These are new listing slides. Now look at May. It is shot up. So what does that tell you? That means there's going to start to be a little more inventory coming onto the market. Now, is it going to be great? No. Is it going to be like it was last year? No. But we are still short. Oh, excuse me. So what that tells me is people are getting comfortable, right? Now that we know a little bit more about the coronavirus, COVID-19, and how it affects people and how it is transferred and transmitted to each other and how you can prevent that, and how at first it was a big scare, sanitize everything you touch, sanitize your house, your Amazon packages, all that. You really don't have to do all that anymore. Just wash your hands, right? Wear a mask, wash your hands, and you're good. Keep your distance. But so people are realizing that. Now they're okay buying homes. And now people are like, you know what? People come in my house, I'll just spray everything down and it's cool. It's not going to, be on my floor and then somehow get to my hand and then get to my mouth. Right. So this is something that people are seeing, and they're getting the courage and they're getting the strength to put their homes on the market. What does that mean for future sellers? That means a little more competition. What does that mean for buyers? More inventory, more choices. That means the market's going to start to stabilize over the next couple months, which is great. That means we're on the road to recovery from the pandemic, and that the economy is starting to push back.
That's what it looks like. And you can see too here, when you go back, what's cool about this, I love stats and graphs. I mean, I always love it. But when you can really identify trends is when you can take this stuff, this knowledge, and you can apply it to what you're doing. Because knowledge without application is kind of useless, right? What was who was the know-it-all on Cheers? Cliff.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Knew everything, right? But it's useless. He wasn't able to do anything with it. But look at this. If you look back here in March and you just look at these different cycles, so these are annual cycles that we're seeing happening here for new listings. And if you look back on the March timeframe, that spring timeframe, we're seeing a jump, up pretty much every single time to where we get to our max inventory level. And so what happens here is, if you look at what happened in this cycle, we saw the huge drop for coronavirus, but look where we are now. It's just kind of like it got back to where it should have been. If you look at that line, where it was headed, that trend is really close, and maybe it'll come up a little bit more. But considering these last cycles, look how much lower it is. And if we follow suit with this cycle of when that inventory starts to change, it could be really soon. So this may be as good as it gets from a buyer standpoint. For inventory, these next 2-3 months could be the pick of the litter type situation. I know interest rates are amazing, so it could be a perfect storm for buyers.
I mean, we're still going to have to wait a whole year to fully recover, to really see, where our max was at. But there is the possibility that the shift in the market kind of pushes our cyclic rate over, right? Because normally we get a decrease in the fall,
True.
winter, right? So maybe we'll have an increase, in December, November, instead of a decrease. And then, we'll just be out of whack for a little bit, and it'll start picking up the pace and getting back schedule. But I really do see an increase. The numbers don't lie. The increase of listings is there. That means there's a little bit more inventory coming on the market, not a ton, but it's more than it was in April. That's for sure.
Big time.
So, big jump. And that's the telltale right there. All right, what's the
look at actives?
Actives. See that? That's just another way of looking at it here.
Same kind of cycle.
Yep.
As you can see taking place there. And got the detached versus attached. And then pendings.
Mm-hmm. A lot more pendings means buyers are buying up the inventory.
Yeah, I mean,
last month,
we can still use more inventory. That's something that we could definitely use.
I mean, I would love to have an extra 50,000 houses to come on the market. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be bad for the sellers, but it'd be great for buyers and overall stabilization. And yeah. I mean, like, that's why right now, and you and I talked to this same guy this week, and, I'm looking at people who have a big profit and have a chance to maybe parlay. Like, for example, if you bought a condo and, you have a big piece of equity in just a few years, that's not usually how it works. Usually, you buy your condo, takes some time, right? You build your equity over time, you put in 5-10 years, and all of a sudden you got, wow, I got 6 figures here. Usually you don't get like multiple 6 figures in a few years. So when you do have to kind of sit back and go, wow, did I get lucky? Because you can get lucky. That's the other thing that's cool about real estate. Yeah, you win in the long run. I guarantee you that. Like, you just look at the stat, like, long run, real estate wins. But in the short run, sometimes you don't win, or sometimes you get lucky and hit the freaking jackpot. And when that happens, sometimes you do need to take a look at it and go, well, wait a minute, should I take advantage of this? Should I do something here? And I think if you have the chance to take an investment property or your primary residence, if you can sell, take a huge profit here and parlay yourself into a single family, just my opinion, Jay, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. There's the single family homes are not being built at the same rate that the attached homes are. So the new construction is almost all townhomes. Right. Or if they are detached, they're like basically townhomes. They have the same floor plan as townhomes, but there's 4 feet between them. And so if you can parlay your townhome or your condo into a detached because of the great sellers market that we're in, that might be something to really take a look at. Yeah,
for sure. It just makes more sense. Single family homes appreciate faster than condos anyway.
Yeah, and they're more rare, and they will continue to be more rare. So, yeah. All right, let's look at solds.
All right, boom, solds. Look at that. What does that tell you?
Just crazy to see the numbers drop like that.
Yeah. So wow. What the solds are telling us is that, we're way down on solds, but it's not because people aren't buying. It's because there's nothing available to buy. That's the painful part, right? So May had, a really low sold, but we had a ton of listings hit the market in May. Now, I wish I could split this up by day so we could figure out, that most of these solds happen in the beginning of the month, and then the listings come on at the end of the month. So I wish that I could show you that, but it would just take too much to get Ashley, the one who does all this data for us, to come out and do oh, can I get a day by day? Yeah, I'm not going to ask her to do that. She's already providing so much to us already in information. It's ridiculous. I love her so much.
Ashley Lund, who puts this together, give her a shout out.
She's OP for us. She owns the KW, and she's brilliant, freaking genius. I not have the wherewithal to put this together like this, and I understand. I can relay it, and I can share it, and I can give you a value. All the viewers out there that want to know what's going on. I mean, I don't know anyone else in the industry that's sharing this kind of information with you. They may get the information, but no one's putting it out to the consumer. And, I just think that, Derrick and I, using this platform are trying to help our end user, which is, you, the consumer, the buyer or seller, to get the information they need to understand what kind of a market it is and if it's a good time or a bad time for you in your specific situation to make a move.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you're 100% right about the way these stats show themselves. I want to show you how this looks. If you just looked at this and you had no idea what else was going on, you would think that the market was in trouble. You would go, "Wait a minute, wow, no one's buying houses in comparison to previous cycles. Like it's going down dramatically." And this is why it's important to be able to put all these together. We don't just show you one graph and go, "Look, median price," because there's more to it than that. And but if someone looked at this graph 10 years from now, they go, "Oh, wow, it really slowed down in 2020. Must have been that COVID crisis." No, well, kind of, but but it didn't slow down. It was actually, it was running too fast. It's like, when you run too fast and you fall, sometimes you get going too fast. And when you're young and you can actually run fast, I can't do it anymore. It's pathetic. But, um, you know, back when you were young and you would start running, you're actually like running too fast. So that's the kind of market that we're in. It's moving too fast. It's moving so fast, people, they can't see it. They can't get offers in. They can't see properties before they're gone. But the numbers being low just show us that, we have a massive inventory shortage. And this is part of the reason why I've been making very bold predictions lately about the future of home values in San Diego. We've had inventory crisis for a very long time. There's a legit housing crisis going on in all of Southern California, dramatic lack of affordable housing. And a big part of that is that it's such a desirable place to be. And people are willing to spend, a very big chunk of what they make just to be here, because there's so many things you can do for free that are amazing. You can go to the beach here, you can go to the beach there, you can go to all these different things. You can do so much, enjoy the weather every single day. That's all included in what you're paying to live here. So, you don't get that stuff in a lot of places. So when you look at this, just know we're showing you this because we're being transparent with what's going on. Selling a lot less homes may look bad if you just look at this. You got to understand the totality of circumstances, the fact that there's so few homes for sale. And when we look at price, you're going to see that prices are doing really, really well.
Yeah, our median is down a little bit, and I mean that just tells you that a lot of lower price homes sold. I mean, and one of the reasons that it jumped up so high, was those 10 and 20 million dollar houses. When those things sell, they really pump that median. So we're getting back to where we should be, right around the 660 range, and for our attached 435s.
Yeah, but I mean, look at that in just what this is a 5-year graph.
Yeah.
And we went from 525 to 662. Yeah, the high end has been slower. Multi-million dollar home sales have slowed down. And that will affect the median, right? So, which is okay. But it's also, if you look at 525 to 662 in 5 years, I mean, you're getting a really big return there. That's got to be close to 5%. That's somewhere between 4 and 5%, if my mental math is right.
100 grand. I mean, it's really. I mean, think about it. It's only 5 years on a $500,000 house. You got a 20% increase.
Yeah, yeah, and then some.
Yeah. I mean, 20% in 5 years is insane.
I'm going to bet you that that's almost 25%. How about I get my calculator out and go 525 times 1.25, 656. Yeah, it's over more than 25%.
Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. So it's just I don't know any other. So 5 years, if you think about it, it's 5%, a little over 5% per year, right?
Yeah.
Any bank account you have, any mortgage you own, right, isn't going to be above 5%. So therefore, if you look at it, if you have a mortgage of 3% and you're gaining 5%, you're profiting 2% on top of the money you're paying into your house.
Oh yeah, even more so when you calculate in deductions,
right?
That you get for that interest, because you get to peel that interest off on a simple interest loan where your home is appreciating in a more of a compounding fashion. There's definitely a tremendous mathematical benefit to homeownership, which I won't pound down your throat here, but we do want you to know what this stuff looks like. And this is the average sales price, which is a little bit different calculation, but you see the same trends.
Right. And then that's the whole thing. I mean, think about it. When you put your money in a bank account, what are you getting? 0.5%, 1% if you're lucky. Your best savings account's your house. I don't care what you say. because as long as you make your payments on time, as long as you're still working and doing what you have to do to pay your bills, your house isn't just going to get up and walk away, right? It's not a business that can go under. It's property. It's always going to have value. Now that value is on a cyclic rate. It's going to change. It's going to go up and down. But in the end, it's a long game. It's not a short game. But right now, you're able to play the short game with real estate due to the fact that we're increasing our equity so much because of the supply and demand issues. But yeah, look at that average sales price, $823,000.
Yeah.
Down a little bit from March. And I think that's when Alicia Keys bought her house for $20 million. So I mean, I get that.
That was Bill Gates bought one for 45 or 48.
Yeah. And they were right around the same time frame too. So
yeah.
I can see that, contributing to that. All right, let's hit the next one. What's this next one?
Median.
Okay. Here we go. Right now, our time on market, we're looking at being about 11 days average.
So this tells a big story.
Yeah, 12 to 13 days. I mean, gone. House is selling like hotcakes.
And when do they count that? Is it from the moment it's put on the MLS until it goes pending? Is that what they're using for that?
Correct.
Okay. And a lot of that is just waiting. Like it really can't get lower than that because you've got to, give the market a chance to give you some offers, right? If it's a hot market as a listing agent, right? Like you can't just take the first offer. You got to give it a week or whatever, do a little negotiating.
The past few listings I've had have been about 4 to 5 days with multiple offers. If it's in the right neighborhood and it's priced right, you can get it done in less than a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need that plus the ones that sell in a month to average, 11, 12, 13 days to average that. I mean,
those ones that stay on the market that long, that's due to, being overpriced. You know what I mean? And it's just, if we're staying on the market long, it's usually a pricing issue. Sometimes it's a value issue. For instance, I have one that's 6,671 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 2 kitchens.
You still got that one?
Yeah, it's totally worth the money, man. But nobody wants to do a remodel on a 6,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
I've got a couple guys texting me today, actually, right now. I got 2 guys that text me today that want to go look at it. So, I mean, we'll see. You know what I mean? But I mean,
if there's a baller out there who wants a badass pad, it's in Bonita, right?
Yeah, because it's got a view. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. 6,671 square feet, 3-car garage. It has a courtyard. I mean, it's on 1.1 acres. For 1.3 million, I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah,
it's less than $190 a square foot.
See, that's the thing. Like you 100% cannot construct it for that.
No.
Which is kind of what I like to look at from, there's a lot of different things you look at on an appraisal, but I like to look at the cost approach because that really tells you like what something's worth. I mean, if it costs me, $2 million to build this house, but I can buy it for 1.3, that's all I need to know. Is this something that people want to buy? What's really cool about that too is being on an acre. We were talking earlier about what's being built now, like what you can see in new construction, what inventory in San Diego County is going to look like in the future. I'm going to say most of the houses with like big yards or half an acre lot or whatever, those are already built. They're already built. Yeah. Whatever's here is what it is. And, like houses like that with an acre, already built. You're not going to get, house like that. They did do this little community. I don't know if you saw this in Lakeside where they tried to do a little Napa Valley and like build houses on like 3 or 4 acres. I don't know if it went well or not.
I don't even know, honestly.
I don't think it did. I don't think it went well, but it's because, they went a little too crazy with the pricing. They tried to build these, crazy big expensive houses out there.
You can't do that in a neighborhood that won't support it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to check in on that. I'll actually look into that and see how that did. But like, you know, these homes that have space, these resale homes that have, you know, good bones to them, good property to them, those are going to be more and more rare as time goes on, because they're going to have more and more people living here, but the same amount of those homes. So that's something to definitely look into. All right, let's keep moving here. Sorry, I get stuck on stuff. Supply.
Month supply, we're at 2.1 for attached and 1.8 for detached. So basically that means in less than 2 months, everything that's hit the market is already off of the market for single family homes.
Super fast. And you can see
that means everything that was put on the market is now gone. It's ridiculous. Like, it's so, like, when you find one now that's been on the market 3 weeks, you start to go, what's wrong with it?
Oh yeah.
How come someone hasn't bought it yet? I don't get it. What's wrong?
You call the agent and you're like, oh, it fell out, you know, or whatever. Like,
or they just, or it's not even that. It's you know, someone in the house got sick and they didn't want to risk, you know, showings. You know what I mean? Or, you know, it's, or someone's job or something. It's always something crazy, but I mean, yeah, it's insane. Less than 2 months. Everything that was on the market 2 months ago is now completely off the market.
Bonkers. That's been really strong for us for a while. And that's just kind of playing into the things we're talking about here with the still extremely low inventory. We've gotten a little bit more than we've had in the last few months, but still really, really low.
So check this out. Average list price compared to sales price. So for your detached, you're at 98.1, and for attached, you're at 98.6. That means whatever you list it for, on average, you should be getting at least 98%. Now, I don't know a lot of agents that overprice their homes from the jump. So there must be a lot of realtors out there overpricing houses from the beginning to get this, because everyone I know does the opposite strategy. It's a little bit lower than what it's going to sell for, just to make sure that we get a ton of offers. So the fact that the average is 98%, that tells me that there are a bunch of people who are argumentative with their realtor, and they're, you know, fighting them on the price, and they have to learn the hard way, or the realtor is just inexperienced and it was your friend's brother's cousin's mom that did it. You know, but yeah, 98%. So if you list your house for 600 grand, you're going to get 98% of that. If you list it with me,
on average, yeah, I was going to say on average,
you get more than that.
Yeah, no, you are for sure. I mean, we saw that. We see that every time with your listings, and you know, it makes a big difference. You know, who sells your home makes a humongous difference.
And it makes a huge difference. And there's a lot of the guys in the game that are, you know, really well respected. I pay a lot of respect to them. You know, there's a lot of really good people out there. And then you have, you know, someone that works at Subway and does real estate part-time that tries to sell a house. I mean, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? They don't know what they're doing. So it just, you know, it just hurts the seller at that point. Let's look at the monthly indicator.
Okay.
Check this. All right. 46.3% 1 year change in closed sales to all properties. That's minus 46%. And the reason that is because we have so less inventory. So if you look at the yellow highlighted area, weeks are hovering near all-time lows, spurring strong interest by buyers and lifting showing activity up 4% nationally versus a year ago. So there's 4% more showing activity right now than there was a year ago. That tells you there's way more buyers with way less inventory. And that's the reason we're down so much on our sales. Buyers have to be quicker to return to the housing market in force than sellers, meaning everybody that wants to buy is like, yep, let's go buy a house. And the sellers are the ones that are still being cautious. But in regards to improving, and as the states and localities continue to moderate COVID-19 policies, real estate activity is expected to continue to improve in the coming weeks. And like we saw earlier, we've had a jump in listings coming to the market in May. So
which we should, you know, because I mean, it was kind of a choke point, right? Like this inventory that we're talking about is still not very much, you know, and it's just pent up people who didn't want to put it on in April or May. And really still inventory that we're seeing right now, Jay, in my opinion, is still kind of early adopter sellers who are the first ones to say, okay, we waited our 2 months, let's go. I think there's still a lot of people who want to sell that are going to wait another few months and see Is there going to be a spike in coronavirus cases? Is there going to be an issue? And I hope this is the case. I'm really, optimistic about this. Trying to be, because, we need it. We do. We need more inventory to balance this market out a little bit, to make it a little bit more fair for buyers. Make it, and Jay and I work a lot with VA buyers, active duty military, a lot of active duty military. We want them to be able to buy a nice house here, so it's great to have a tremendous amount of appreciation in a short period of time. No question about it. But it's also nice for that to be, slow and steady too, so that more people can play in the game. So I think, the addition of inventory would be a bonus here if we could get it. But hopefully, we will see a little bit more inventory, a little bit more options for buyers soon.
Hopefully. We actually had some comments on the Facebook from Brandon. So this is great, by the way. So micro need this one is uncertain. March was Bill Gates, since the spike. Then he asked, would you rather be a buyer's agent or listing agent going in the next 12 months? Well, I guess that's more directed to me than you. But Brandon, I will tell you this. I do both. And I think that having a balanced business is key, especially when there's uncertainty. And I enjoy both sides of the business. I do enjoy listings. I do enjoy buyers. And I don't think I would ever just tie myself down to one of them. So that's my answer to that question. Yeah, man. What's the next one? Let's look at the housing supply overview. All right, 0.76% price range with strongest pending sales is 1.2 million to 2 million.
Huh. Well, because those pretty much stopped, right? So then they came back a little bit, and that's where the gain came from, I think.
Yep. Home size with strongest pending sales, 4,000, 6,000. Property type with strongest pending sales, condos and townhomes, is minus 6%, 0.6%. So market-wide inventory levels were down 35.6%. The property type with the smallest decline was the condos. Townhome segment, condos and townhome segment, where they decreased 21.6%. That amounts to 1.7 months for supply for single-family homes and 1.9 for supply for condos. Man.
Yeah, it's more of the same right there. And obviously, we look at these numbers and they're telling us the past, right? So this is like, okay, this is what happened in May.
Right.
Here's what we should do. I believe this is the last slide you want to do, right, Jay?
Let's hit the next one. Let's show them what's going on with the economy. Yeah. All right. According to San Diego analysis, the San Diego region now has 430,000 people out of work. More than 360,000 of whom lost employment after March 7th, when public health officials pinpointed that date as the health crisis locally. All right, so what does that mean for the buyers and sellers, right? For those of you that, are out of work, I can honestly say I'm sorry, and I hope you get back into it. But what that does mean for buyers that are out there and sellers that are out there, sellers, if you're looking to sell your home, the people that are looking are dead serious. Like, they are working, right? The people that aren't working aren't looking at buying homes. So if you think about it, that's 430,000 people taken out of the equation to purchase a home due to the pandemic. Now, if you think about that and the increase in buyer activity, that tells you that more and more people are very, very serious about buying a home. So what does that mean for you as a seller? As a seller, that tells you that the buyers coming out, you're going to have more of them. They're going to be serious and they're going to come strong. You're not going to have as many looky-loos as we used to have year after year, especially during the summer months. People want to just come out, I just want to go look at houses. I'm sorry, you can't, because you need these special forms to fill out before you go look at any houses now. So anyone that's coming out there has to have an agent. They have to have these forms signed, basically saying they don't have coronavirus, and that if they do, they don't know it because they haven't been in contact with anyone and everything else. And you have to wear your protection when you go in the home.
What do you think about that being like a normal thing? Do you think that's something that'll just kind of stick? Like the formality of, hey, we don't just, let people run around and go into houses anymore. Like, we have people sign in, you fill out forms, like make sure you're not spreading germs. Like, do you think that's something that's going to stick?
I mean, okay, the form itself sucks. It's just extra paperwork for us. But I understand it and I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it to protect people. and I get it, and I'm okay with that. Will it stick around? Until there's a vaccine, I think it'll be here. I never, my team and I, we never really did the whole jump and run thing. Oh, I want to go look at a house. Okay, cool. Do you have a pre-approval? No. Are you paying cash? No. I just want to go look at houses. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. They go, why not? And I mean, the real explanation behind it is we're not lazy. We're not trying to, not show you anything. But what if you want to look at something that's not in your budget?
Yeah.
And then you haven't got your pre-approval yet. And, we call Derrick and Derrick gets you pre-approved. And now you're pre-approved, let's say 650,000, but you really wanted to go look at this house a week ago at 850. Now you love that $850,000 home. That $850,000 home, I guarantee you, is much nicer than that 650 home, right? Now your standards mentally are way up here, but what you can afford is right here. And now, because I've set you up for failure, letting you see that home that you could never afford anyway, now that's my fault. Now trying to get you to understand that you can't have that and bring you back here is going to break your heart. And now you're not even going to buy a house, right? And now your dream of being a homeowner is now crushed because your eyes were bigger than your wallet. And it happens. It's the same thing with, with anybody. It's not something that's rare or unfounded. It's definitely something that happens all the time. And a bad agent will jump and run. They will take you out. They will show you homes, get you all hyped up. Come to find out, you have a 200 credit score and you can't buy nothing. Now you're home. Now your time was wasted. I don't know about you, Derrick, but my time is important.
Yeah.
And I treat every single one of my clients as if their time is super important. So I try not to bother them. I try not to, get too into what's going on in their life because, I'm taking time away from their life, right? Just to show them a house. That's not my job. My job is to help them find the right home, get a good deal on it, or help them sell their home and get the most money they can for it. And wasting their time is not my forte. And showing them houses they can't afford is a waste of their time and mine.
Agreed. Amen. It's very, very important. It's one of the reasons why I like to start with what are you comfortable with from a payment perspective, and let me back into how much that will, be from a purchase price perspective. Because people can get it. It's very easy to go online and start looking at houses and keep up in your search. Let's go to 600. Let's go to 700. Oh, now I found one that I really like.
Yep.
But that payment's $1,000 more a month than what you would like. So, that's a super, super important piece. And this graphic right here, I thought was interesting to throw up as well. I think is this probably the last one you want to do, Jay?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really, this little teeter totter here kind of says it all, right? Like inventory's down, guess what's happened to pricing? And that'll always be true. I mean, if we get more inventory, then prices can level off a little bit. And I think everybody wants a level market. Level market's still good, still positive. But what the reality is, what we want doesn't matter. The market's going to do what it's going to do. So it's better for us to know what's going on. And my update, I guess, would be for the month of June, which we're, almost 3 weeks into here. I mean, we just showed you the May stats, broke that down. You can see the trends that are taking place. We're getting a little bit of relief from the absolute insanity that was April, but still very competitive marketplace. I actually had a little record today, Jay. We funded 4 VA purchases today. So yeah, that was definitely a record breaker for me. And,
one was mine.
Yes, true. It sure was. So we had a busy morning, but I look at all 4 of those and said, okay, let's look at what these houses were listed for. Let me look at, how do we get these homes, and just kind of looking at all 4 of them, and all 4 of them went over list. All 4 of them were competitive. The one that one of them was at list, actually was right at list, but appraised over list, which was pretty cool. And then, the rest of them were all over list by a little bit. Not crazy, not like 20 or 30,000 over list, but they're all over list. And they all praised at value or higher. So it's like, you always wonder when the market's going up like this, is it because people are just coming out of their pockets? Like, is it because people are just like so desperate to buy that, they're buying the house for 530, waiving appraisal contingencies, coming out of pocket, to appraise for 510 and creating this comp that really shouldn't be there or whatever? No, that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is, that homes are in high demand. These all happen to be detached homes. These homes are in high demand. People want them. People are willing to pay for them if the homes are in good condition. Because one of the things that's also been pretty common is, hey, if we have inspection issues, there's renegotiations, there's credits coming back, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the key I think for buyers out there is you got to get in a contract. That's the key. Don't worry about trying to do the whole negotiation up front. That ain't gonna work. Be strong with your offer. Assume the home is in great shape, perfect shape. And then if you find out it's not, then you deal with it. One item at a time. But you try to negotiate everything all the way up front. I think you're gonna just end up with a lot of drive time, a lot of miles on your car, and no house to show for it.
I gotta get a Tesla.
Get a used one. Tesla pre-owned, dude. It's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing.
I like my car. Sounds good.
Yeah, my car doesn't make any sound at all.
I know that would bother me. I'd be like, is it running right? One of these days, I'll get one when the mileage per charge goes up.
Yeah, that's a big thing they're working on. I got it up to 360 with the new Model S. Actually, no, 402 with the brand new Model S is 402.
Is that the performance model though?
It's just all the Model S's. So the 3 is the small one. The S is the one that I have. I have an older one, but it's sort of the bigger sedan version.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks clean.
Oh,
I like it.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome.
But I want the P100D.
Ooh, that's what Elon Musk drives right there.
Right, I want one of those, but I want it to do 400 miles.
That's what it does now.
Really?
The brand new one. 2020 just got rated. I follow him on Twitter, so I know these things.
Go hit the dealership.
Well, that was my closing piece. Jay, do you have anything for kind of what you're seeing now in June?
We are still busier now than we have been in the last 12 months. Buyer activity is huge. Listings are starting to come on the market. So yeah, it's a hot market. And if you're looking to get your home sold or to buy a home, reach out. I'm with Keller Williams. My DRE is 02027951. Keller Williams San Diego Metro, the Lee Home Team. So you can just Google us, reach out. I'll probably be tagged in this post somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a call, 619-606-0700, or give Derrick a call to get pre-approved. You already follow him, so there's or think of us like the dynamic duo. We get stuff done. We make it happen.
Get things done, take care of people.
Yeah, that's it. And so that's all I got, brother. Just want to give out that info and hopefully that helps somebody today.
I know it will, man. I appreciate you doing that, bringing that to us. It's great to have you, Jay. Reach out to us if you have questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve you any way that we can. So don't be shy. Leave a comment. Don't be a lurker. Share this with your friends too. Don't forget about that. Hey, there's somebody you might know that needs this information as well. Make sure you share it with them, and we'll see you on the next one.
Whoop, whoop.
Peace.